economic warfare is regularly declared against the Black community in particular. Most of us are heavily controlled by the money, especially when you are stuck in the mud of economic desperation. When you are economically desperate, then somebody that has money can come along like a magician and say, they say jump. You're like, how high? How high I gotta jump, boss? Right? So so a lot of times what you think is just merely racial oppression. It's not just racial oppression, it's really economic oppression, but economic oppression has a racial element to it. Why? Not necessarily always due to causation, but correlation. Correlation, what is that? Let me explain, don't get confused. Correlation means that two things tend to be connected, right? They don't cause each other to happen, but they're connected. So in America, you have a country where for 400 years, white folks took all the money. We know this. They stole from us. They used us. They all these things are true, right? And so now there's a huge disparity. So their money's here, your money's here. So this ends up allowing this group to have a tremendous amount of power over this group. So even so what happens is that the insidious racism that led to the disparity in the first place, it lingers. It lingers like a really nasty fart in the room, like after the person has left, right? It just lingers in the sense that the people today that inherited all this wealth have a tremendous amount of power and control over the people that did not inherit the wealth. So what they end up doing is they'll use their wealth to manipulate you in certain ways. And you say, you did that to me because I'm black. And here's the crazy part is that person may not have a racist bone in their body. They may say, look, I didn't do this to you because you're black. I did it to you because, because you're different or because I believe everybody should go to church and you don't go to church. And I don't like people who don't go to church. Or I did it because you're liberal and I'm conservative and I don't like liberals, right? It could be all these things, right? And the reason but the thing is, it feels like racism because it partially is. But what I think that we're doing is we're not connecting it to the original source. We're sort of saying you're racist and you're doing this out because you're racist. And I think that puts you in a trap because the person may say, look, I hate all the liberals or I hate all the people that don't go to church, white or black. It has nothing to do with race, but race had everything to do with the fact that you had so much economic power because you belong to a group that inherited all the resources. So that means that your culture gets to dominate my culture. And if you look inside of America in terms of economic opportunities, most economic opportunities go to people that live in the same social circles. And people tend to give opportunities to people that they can relate to. So if I'm the white guy who's running the corporation and I see another young white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes, I'm going to relate to him more than I relate to this black kid that's coming out of the south side of Chicago, right? So I'm going to give opportunities to people that are similar to me, and you're going to say, "Oh, it's because you're being racist." And he's like, "I'm not being racist. I just like this guy," right? Because human beings tend to like people that are similar to them.